I told you I'm not the king of short answers.
The better question.
I think it's very human for us to have preference. That is the most human basic, is that we have our preference of our expression of worship. I think that in the last few years, we can start to worship the preferences that we have to where we think that anything outside of our preference isn't worship. And I think that's where it becomes this risky territory, when sometimes we don't understand different cultures of worship or different perspectives of worship, and we deem it as not worship. So that's where I think things do get tricky, and then we start worshiping our own expression and kind of flattering ourselves in that too, like, oh, I love the way that this church does this, or I love the way that this worship group does this, but this one, not so much, I don't feel as much from it. When it really does boil down to our preferences, it was how we were raised, things of that nature. And I think that going back to the purity of it is realizing that God's touching people in so many different ways and in so many different expressions. And I have to constantly remind myself, like, this is just my preference. And Lord, would you remove all my preferences? That I want to see it through your lens. I want my preferences to be yours. Like, purify that in me, that I don't have these different favorites and I don't start worshiping certain expressions more than other.